Welcome back to AgriTalk OnLine. We're broadcasting from the Syngenta booth here at the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky. Joining us now is Carroll Moseley, herbicide brand manager for Syngenta, and we want to talk about what has become a very successful and a very popular program, Helix GT Weeding Out Hunger Campaign. Carroll, thanks for joining us to talk about this. Tell us how this got started and kind of bring us up to date. I mean, it has really caught on. You've helped a lot of people.
Well, we probably started over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, related to the Weeding Out Hunger program with Helix GT, and we were thinking about ways, we were in the process of where we're increasing significantly every year, annually, the sales of Helix GT. It's our glyphosate with residual product, and we said, how can we tie this in together with, a campaign that really would mean something, that's tied emotionally related to this, and something that's really near and dear to most all of us in production agriculture, and how we start thinking about how much farmers already contribute to the food supply. You hear the numbers around 9 billion people on the globe in 2050, and those numbers are real, and there's a significant demand and increase in caloric intake, 50% between now and 2050. So what could we do to help relate it to this and kind of tie it all together? And because Helix GT is directly associated and tied to yields of corn and production agriculture and increasing food for people, we thought, what better way to do this? And the recession was coming on at the same time, but we probably should have done this program even before that point in time, but it was all tied together with the introduction of Helix GT too. But what better way to do that than take some of the proceeds associated with the sale of Helix GT herbicide and take those proceeds and donate them to Feeding America affiliates across the United States, but especially in the Corn Belt. So we not only increase yields directly as it's associated with corn plants and food, but directly associated with the herbicide itself. We're providing funds to people in need as it relates to having to have food in order to survive or being in a depleted situation.
And you had a very successful 2010.
We did. We donated over $100,000. Our goal was to do it based on sales of Helix GT, and we would donate up to $100,000. Obviously, we had a very good year with Helix GT. We capped out on the contribution. We're going to do the same thing in 2011, and we anticipate that we get there. We have a lot of interest in the herbicide, and at the same time, I feel good about it. Syngenta's given me this opportunity as an individual to do this. I feel pretty good about the situation because you're helping people in need. You're helping kids, you're just providing people an opportunity to just dust themselves off, get up, and get started again.
You've been able to work with a very successful program, the Feeding America program, which has reached out and helped a lot of people. And the key here is that you can help people locally, but you're also helping them on a broader scale as well.
That's right. It's interesting. We work with a lot of people here locally at the National Farm Machinery Show, and we're making the donations, and people are saying, well, where's this money going? Is it going, here, there, and everywhere in urban centers? And it's helping in some places there too. But there's a lot of poverty. There's a lot of hunger in rural America, and we've seen that through some of the food banks that we work through. They've come to us and asked us for this, that, and the other related to helping them with contributions on certain things. And these are in places, in Illinois, in Iowa, not in cities related to that, but in rural areas where you've got people that have just coming, they're not looking for a handout, Mike. They're looking for some help. Just give me through the next few weeks or the next few days so I can, provide that catalyst there to get me going again.
What's next?
Well, what's next is we're looking forward to it and really kick things off last night before the tractor pull here in Louisville at the National Farm Machinery Show. We're going to do it again in 2011. We also have some trucks going from county to county across the U.S. with the Helix GT robot in the back of it, where people will see that. We've also started, it's kind of fun for me, we've got this campaign where we tie the Helix GT robot associated with, it looks like it's picking weeds out of a cornfield, but we also now have a campaign where that Helix GT robot is, holding a bag of groceries. Not only are we contributing to the food supply as it relates to, obviously, the decreased weeds and the increased yields associated with corn, but we're also using this campaign in Helix GT to provide groceries and or funds for people to help them get going again.
And where can people get more information and find out how they can get involved?
They can go to weedingouthunger.com. We'll show the locations where we went last year related to the truck and that sort of thing, and things that we have planned. You know, we've got the Farm and Gin show coming up too in about a week, and then we got Commodity Classic coming up. But they can find that information on weedingouthunger.com. Also, if you're a member of Facebook, you know, we're all doing the social media thing now. I have an account myself now. You know, it's kind of fun to keep up with my kids and that sort of thing. But there's a Weeding Out Hunger site there on Facebook, and if you can go there and like it on the Facebook, and based upon that, we'll provide some contributions too. But there'll also be some information as it relates to some of the events that we're going to be having throughout the year on that on the Facebook page also.
Of course, farmers can really help get it going with their purchases of Helix GT.
Yep, directly, and that's really where this whole thing gets started. You know, when farmers go in and purchase, you know, what we end up doing is we end up, if we get to the $100,000 mark or wherever we get to related to the donations based on those sales, then we looked at it on a regional basis in terms of how the sales are split, and we provide it to those local food banks in those areas.
Well, it's a great program. Unfortunately, the need is still there, so we need people to stay involved and keep going and keep helping, because there are people out there that need this assistance, and it's great that Syngenta has stepped forward. I know others have kind of come up with similar type things now, and you're fine with that. The more they get involved and help, the better.
To me, that's been a positive aspect of it. You know, there's been hundreds of stories that have rolled off the Helix GT Weeding Out Hunger campaign as it relates to other people, our retailers and distributors getting involved and having food drives and in the name of, you know, Helix GT and Weeding Out Hunger. But also other companies, competitive companies, have jumped on the bandwagon. And let me tell you, I'm fine with that. I'm glad to see it. You know, we're not going to be in a position ever, I don't think, where we're going to have more than what we need for these folks to, you know, that are in need related to these products, non-perishable items and food, and getting it distributed properly. So I'm just happy to see other people getting involved and other companies also. Congratulations to you and Syngenta. It's a great program. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mike. Carroll Moseley, Herbicide Brand Manager for Syngenta, and the very successful and very much needed Helix GT Weeding Out Hunger campaign. All right, that wraps it up for AgriTalk Online as we broadcast here day number 2 of the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky from the Syngenta booth. I'm Mike Adams. Thanks for joining us on AgriTalk Online.